I have lowered all of Ederson's attributes down to 1. And why have I done that, you might ask? Well, for every clean sheet Man City keep with Ederson in goal this season and going forward until we get to all 20 attributes, for every clean sheet Ederson keeps, he goes up by 1 in every attribute. We start off at day 0, the year is 2022, and Ederson has 1s across the board. Let's see how long this takes. Let's dive in. Hello all and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well and you're back for another exciting new idea and something a little bit different with this video. Ederson, you can see him on screen right now. Value probably one of the best goalkeepers in world football right now in real life for Manchester City. But within the game, he is down to an attribute of 1 in every single attribute on screen. You see there, all the goalkeeping, mental and physical attributes are all down at 1. But how do we get these back up to the high numbers Ederson is at in real life? But before we get into that though, if you're new around here and you haven't already, make sure you're subscribing to the channel and giving the video a big thumbs up. But now you can see on screen basically all the attributes are currently at 1 rated across the board. Every attribute for Ederson is at 1. So what the plan is, we're going to simulate an entire season with Ederson in goal with attributes of 1 across the board for him. Can Man City keep any clean sheets? For every clean sheet that Ederson keeps in goal this season, he goes up to 2, so they keep 1 clean sheet throughout the season. All those attributes will go up to 2, and we're going to see how many seasons it takes to get Ederson to be the perfect goalkeeper and having 20s across the board. So let's dive in. 1 year in the future, can Ederson go up much within the first season with all 1 attributes? I mean, he looks absolutely shocking. He's currently the worst goalkeeper in the world. But with a Man City defence and a Man City team in front of him, surely he'll keep some clean sheets, right? So we come back now to the end of season number 1 with Ederson with 1 attributes across the board. And Man City actually finished 3rd within the Premier League. That's not bad for a keeper who had 1 attribute across the board in goal for them the entire season. You can see otherwise, Champions League knocked out by Bayern. The FA Cup getting knocked out in the 3rd round by Brighton. The Carabao Cup, runner-up, they came 2nd. They got to the final all the way in the Carabao Cup before losing out, which we'll get to that in just a moment. The Community Shield, they did actually win the Community Shield as well. So not bad of Ederson net. But how many clean sheets did they keep throughout the season? So we'll dive into the schedule first and have a bit of a brief look at how things happened. I mean, throughout pre-season, you'd imagine sort of beat these sort of teams quite handily. Haaland got a lot of goals. Who would have thought that? Who would have thought? But yeah, Community Shield, they beat Liverpool 3-2, but no clean sheets there. And we go through the months here. A clean sheet against Bayer Leverkusen, but we're only counting the Premier League, so that one does not count. We're only counting the Premier League for this testing. So again, we go through any clean sheets throughout the month of October here. Brentford, they get 1 clean sheet against Brentford. Their own Haaland bagging a brace, and Ilkay Gundogan getting 1 there. So that is 1 on the board straight away. Very few kept. I mean, this could see 6 against Liverpool, losing 6-3 against Liverpool. Not great. I mean, Haaland doing what he does best, scoring a lot of goals it seems, but clean sheets are very few and far between. Oh, there's another one there, Aston Villa. So we're down to 2 already in the first season. Keep going on. Crystal Palace to beat 5-0. It's another one there. Oh, it's Inter Milan, but it's no good. It's in the Champions League. That's not going to count for us this season. And we keep going down. There's another one here against Brentford again. So Brentford again. 2 clean sheets against Brentford, it seems, this season. Julian Alvarez getting the winner in that one. I guess some great results beating like the likes of Fulham 6-3 and stuff. Loads of goals being scored, but slowly being conceded. It's not going to be enough. I wonder how far Ederson will get boosted up within season number 1. But touching back quickly, of course, as I mentioned about the EFL Cup, the Carabao Cup final, of course. A 3-1 defeat. Foden getting the 1 goal, but I mean, with a keeper with all 1 attributes, you're going to concede a lot of goals, as they did to Manchester United in that, winning no silverware in the first season. But how many clean sheets did Ederson keep? So we can see now Ederson's profile, of course, all 1 attributes still all there for him. In the Premier League this season, he kept a total of 4 clean sheets, getting an average rating of 6.54. I mean, the FA Cup got 5.90, but I suppose we're knocked out straight away by Brighton in that first round. He's been moved to an emergency backup now. His transfer value is completely dipped now to between 50k and 120k. So an absolute bargain, but I suppose he's got 1 attribute everywhere. So I don't think no one's going to be paying that sort of money for him right now. But 4 clean sheets kept in the Premier League this season, so we can now boost Ederson up to 5. Let's have a look how that looks now. And as if by magic, Ederson now is bumped up to 5 attributes across the board as we go into season number 2 with Ederson in net. Can he do much better with 5 attributes? Can he keep a few more clean sheets than those 4 last season? Let's find out. So season number 2 comes to an end now, and Man City this time coming 5th in the Premier League, missing out on Champions League football, but being knocked out in the Champions League semi-finals to Liverpool. And then again, in the Cups, it didn't really work out very well from the FA Cup, losing in the 4th round to Newcastle. And with a runner-up yet again in the Carabao Cup. 2 Carabao Cup finals, 2 defeats for Manchester City within this series. But have a look at the schedule quickly and have a look at how things have been going. Of course, we have simulated a lot of this to see what happened. You can see now, semi-final of the Champions League, they beat Liverpool 3-1 that first leg before losing 3-0 away at Anfield. So no clean sheets kept there. They lost to Crystal Palace in the last game of the season, losing to Arsenal 3-1. They beat Sheffield United, but 4-1, still conceding goals. But you can see, though, a 2-0 victory here against Everton, a 5-0 victory against Blackpool. I don't know how Blackpool back in the Premier League exactly, but clean sheets kept in the Premier League. There's a handful of them here. They beat Leverkusen 5-1, the Champions League again, but of course, Champions League does not count towards EDERSON getting that boost, of course, we've mentioned already. I mean, Brighton again, Premier League victory there, 2-0 as well. So there's a handful of clean sheets yet again. You can see now straight away above us as well. Bristol City now in the Premier League as well. Bloody hell, Bristol City in the Premier League, that's insane. 2-0 victory there. I mean, there's a few big victories in. Oh my god, I lost 7-2 over to PSG. I mean, he's got 5 attributes, the keeper. I don't know what I really expected, honestly, but there's a few clean sheets here in the Premier League. Sheffield United again, we've mentioned. Tottenham Hotspur, they beat Spurs 4-0 in the opening game of the season as well. Haaland and Foden getting a brace each there. So there are a few more clean sheets for our keeper EDERSON now. As we can see in total, we got a total of 9 in the Premier League. So that will see him get a massive bump going into season number 3. His attributes going to get a massive bump now as he goes up to 16 across the board. And we're back now with season number 3. It's about to start. EDERSON is still down as an emergency backup. His transfer value is absolutely shocking right now, between 14 and 35k. But I suppose that would be because obviously in the hidden stuff here, if we go into his database, yeah, you can see here current ability is 80. That'll be that why. But I mean, his recommended current ability 198. I mean, he probably should be 200 realistically because he's not far off perfect. 16 attributes across the board now for EDERSON. Which will make you wonder, surely this will be the season where he needs 4 clean sheets to get up to 20 for the entire overall season. That's not bad at all, really, for all his attributes. So we'll see. EDERSON, 16 attributes across the board, going to season number 3. Surely he's keeping 4 clean sheets at least minimum to get himself up to 20, and he'll be the perfect goalkeeper. So the 24-25 season is now over, and Man City, they've had a bit of a stinker again, it seems, here. They finished 6th in the Premier League this season on 60 points, behind Man United, Chelsea, Spurs, Arsenal and Liverpool winning the league quite easily for Liverpool by looks of it as well, 89 points there. Champions League final yet to be played between Barcelona and Liverpool. Man City didn't get there, but they did win the FA Cup this season. But the Carabao Cup, I mean, they've got this final 2 years in a row this time round, being knocked out in the 3rd round by Arsenal. So they've won some silverware this season. But what about EDERSON? You need to keep at least 4 clean sheets to get up to that 20 rating. And you think by now, surely he's done that. He's scored 5 goals. He's scored 5 goals, EDERSON, this season. That is absolutely insane. And you might be wondering, how did EDERSON get them goals? We put him on free kicks at the end of the last season. We thought we got 16 attributes across the board now. So let's put EDERSON on some set pieces. So of course he was taking the free kicks this season. And if you got our penalties as well, EDERSON took penalties this season for Manchester City, which meant him getting a few goals this season as well, which you'd love to see EDERSON on the score sheet this season, bagging 5 goals, but also keeping 15 clean sheets. We'll just see him boost up now to 20s across the board as we look ahead now into the final season. But you can see now at the end of that season, no, 16 across the board. We knew that already. Great attributes for him. But oddly enough, his transfer valuation is still not really going up very much, between 11 and 12 million. Newcastle currently want him as well. He's down as an emergency backup still here at Man City, even though he's probably valued right now the best keeper in the world. But in fair though, you can see at the bottom of the screen though, in 38 games, he did concede 42 goals still within the Premier League, which is quite insane when you're looking at the attributes of this keeper right now as we're going to the final season. Why is he conceding so many goals still? He's got all these amazing attributes. Maybe the defence at City has changed quite a lot in this time, really, player-wise, or they're not as good now. Who knows? But we have 1 season to go, and we have a keeper to show you now. The perfect goalkeeper, you have to say, with EDERSON with 20 attributes across the board. We dive into our final season and see what we can do with the perfect goalkeeper for our final season here with EDERSON and at Manchester City. So we come back now, the final season, and we've saw EDERSON now. He is 20s across the board going into this final season. But just how good has he made Man City do this season? I mean, you can see the league table. They still didn't win the league. Manchester United getting 90 points, coming in top. Liverpool in second on 82. And Man City They're back in the Champions League now, so that is an improvement from what we've seen so far within these simulations. But 76 points, level with Arsenal, narrowly getting in to the Champions League. And within the other competitions, of course, they were in the Europa League. They got knocked out in the round of 16 to Real Sociedad, so not great for them there. The FA Cup runners up there, but they did win the Carabao Cup, winning some silverware again this season alongside that Community Shield. So a double, technically, I guess, kind of. They have won 2 trophies this season, but not a great season again for Man City, even with the perfect goalkeeper. And of course, the man himself, Ederson, we mentioned prior now, of course, from that last season, he's gotten 20s across the board now. I mean, this season alone, he hasn't done too bad, really. You can see 27 goals in the Premier League, keeping 17 clean sheets, which is quite insane, actually. 17 out of 38 games, keeping clean sheets. But it wasn't enough still to win the Premier League for Man City. But that looks absolutely insane. Look at him now. All those 20s across the board at age 32. What a keeper he's turned out into following this series of results, going from being 1 rated, keeping those clean sheets, getting him up and up and up to 5, up to 16, and now up to all 20s to see the end of the perfect goalkeeper. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video, seeing what could happen if you try and keep a keeper to get clean sheets with 1 attribute across the whole board, right? Get clean sheets throughout the whole season and moving forward each season along with Ederson. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you are liking the video and subscribing to the channel as always. And thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again very, very soon.